Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology for the collective for July 2021, and then we're going to dive in deep into the energy around your own personal life path number. Before we get into the reading, I want to mention I have a new service and I'm super excited about it. It's very much aligned with these videos that I put out each month. So if this is something that you enjoy, then I think this is going to be an offering that you'll also enjoy. So basically, it's called Understanding the Journey Q&A. So you ask the questions, I give you the answers or the confirmation or clarity. So it's clarity through the numbers, and it's basically energy and numerology fusion. If you purchase this service, it includes a free full numerology report, which is around a $22 value, absolutely free. And so really it's like, what questions do you have pertaining to your current circumstances? What would you like to know about where you might be headed? With this service, I'll use your own personal numerology report, which I will read both practically and intuitively, to offer guidance and clarity on your questions around career, purpose, relationships, or just life in general. This service is meant to help empower you for when you make your decisions and to help you better understand your own personal journey as you continue to move forward. So much clarity can be gained through a better understanding of how the energy of the numbers that our own soul purposely chose before coming to Earth and how they impact our daily lives and the purpose we are meant to show up to daily. So, feeling stuck? Need confirmation or clarity? Let's dive in and take a closer look. This service includes, again, your full personal numerology report that's free. That's going to be my gift to you. A message from the animal spirits, and then guidance and clarity for your most pressing questions pertaining to, again, career, purpose, relationships, and life in general. So if that sounds like something that interests you, then head on over to my website. Under personalized services, you will find this offering and you can book some time with me. I will also leave a link in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the reading for July 2021. So July is a 3 universal cycle. And so collectively, we will feel the influences of this energy throughout the month. What's interesting is that 3 energy is often sort of larger than life, big energy that needs to be moving and seen. It's a very creative, fire-like energy that burns quickly. However, for much of this month, there will be opportunities to sort of stand back and become the observer. So stop, look, and listen before taking that leap. This month will ask you to find grace, not only for self, but also for others. Surrender and acceptance for what you cannot control or change will serve you better than jumping to conclusions or making mountains out of molehills when that isn't the mountain that you're meant to be climbing. Those things that you feel like you have to force, they're not for you, and it will be sort of impossible to maintain that energy. Effort is a good thing and needed to reach our goals, but there's a difference between showing up and putting in the effort as opposed to trying to force something into existence. So pay attention to how you're expending your energy here. Oftentimes, all we need is a change in perspective to shift our actions, which then allows everything to flow much more smoothly. No force needed. So this month, things won't always be as they appear. Pay attention to the details before making your mind up about something, and allow some room for movement. Don't hold on to those opinions too strongly. Be as open-minded as possible because things you thought you were sure of or that you thought you knew might just surprise you. If you can loosen your grip a bit this month and go with the universal flow, then affairs will take care of themselves quite easily, without force. Give up the control. You're not going to miss out on what's meant for you. Okay? It might not happen to your predetermined timeline, but what's meant for you will show up when it is time. You can't mess that up. I think that's really important to remember. What's yours will find you. Communication is going to be key this month. So remember, communication is a two-way street where all parties need to be involved for it to work. In your conversations, are you communicating or are you attempting to influence? I'm going to ask that question again. In your conversations, are you actually communicating or are you attempting to influence? There's a difference. Open the lines of communication without the need to influence the others involved. Also, pay attention to your mindsets this month. Thoughts create actions, which create outcomes. So, is a change of view or mindset in order for you this month? That's going to be key. Again, don't force anything and pay attention to your mindsets. This month is definitely an interesting energy. Things can happen as if by magic with the less force you exert. Yes, you will have to put in the effort, but when that effort shifts to force, then you are then getting in your own way and impeding the process. So pay attention to where it is that you are moving your oars and steering the ship along with the flow of the universe, and where it is that you have turned the boat around and are desperately trying to force yourself against the current, against the flow. Which one feels more sustainable to you? Go with that one. And presumably it's going to be the one that you don't have to force. This energy this month has a lot to show us in how to make life much more easy and to release the struggle. Life path number 6. Okay, so I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you got White Raven Spirit. And Raven's message to you all is trust in the magic. And so what I really feel like Raven is trying to say to you, or the message that he's bringing, is this energy around that going with the universal flow, like we talked about in the intro, of releasing the grip, releasing the need to control, and not forcing something, right? It's like when we force something, we are expending our energy into something that, may or may not work out. And if it's forced, if we have to force it, then we're going to struggle to keep it, right? If we have to force it into existence, then it's going to continue to be a struggle to maintain it. And so pay attention to any of those places within your life where it feels like you have to exert a tremendous amount of energy to either build it or to maintain it. And if it's an energy suck, then it's time to release it, or figure out a way to release it, or to shift the energy in some way so that you're shifting your focus. So I just feel like Raven is here to remind you that those things that you have to force into your life, those people, those places, those things, they're not meant for you, because the things that are meant for you will find you, and you don't have to force anything with them. So I think this is going to be an opportunity this month for you to realize where it is that you're trying really hard to make something work that's just not meant to work. And that doesn't mean that it's a complete loss or a failure or anything like that. It's just that it's just allowing you to have a shift in perspective so that you start putting your energy into those things, into that universal flow for the things that are actually meant for you, right? That are actually going to bring you the joy and the fulfillment and the reciprocal energy. So interesting, but that's what's coming in. That's the message that's coming in for July overall for you all. And I do want to mention too, because I know that 6s struggle with perfectionism. Perfectionism is one of those things that we force, because when we try to perfect something, we're taking the human element out of it, right? Because humans are not perfect. There is no perfect human. And I would even suggest that there's no perfect anything. Like everything has polarities. Everything has, everything is changing and in constant transition, right? Because it's all energy. So if there are things within your life that you are trying to get perfect and you're putting so much energy into that perfection, then this is an opportunity for you to shift that mindset to understanding that life is messy, that things don't always have to fit perfectly or look perfectly, right? or be perfect. So if there's an area where you are really struggling with that, where you're starting to hit the resistance, you're starting to get the pushback, or you're being reprimanded for something when you were really trying to perfect it, whatever the case may be. And if this is resonating for you, then you know what I'm talking about. Those are the areas where you need to dial it back a little bit and understand that mistakes are part of the human experience, right? It's like those are where the redirects come in. Those are where the lessons and the growth and the experiences that take us to a higher elevation. That's where that all comes in. So just be really mindful of where it is that need for perfection is tripping you up, okay? So that really ties in with, I broke the month down into 4 weeks. That really ties into, and I'm really seeing that energy really strongly, that first week of July. So it's almost like there's this energy of whether it's a collaboration or an experience that you are trying to really maintain control over. Now, this can be a relationship as well. So if you are in a I'm just going to use this as an example. If you're in a relationship that you are terrified of it not working out or you losing that person, that you shift into this energy of control where you're going to do everything in your power to force this person to stay with you or force this relationship to work. This is going to be a time where you're going to hit a lot of walls, a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, because again, it's like whatever it is that we have to force is not sustainable. If we have to force or manipulate somebody into staying with us, that is not sustainable. That's not healthy. It's completely toxic. And so again, it's like those are the situations where we need to take a closer look at it and say, okay, I am definitely trying to force this to work and it's not working. So maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe it's not meant for either of us. So I think that you're going to have an opportunity to kind of take a closer look at that. And the same thing with like career, purpose. If it's something to do with your purpose, not to say that you're not going to have challenges around it. Of course, you have to put in effort, but it's not going to be a forced effort. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not something where you need to manipulate the energy or the situation to work in your favor. If you are showing up in purpose, then there is an element of flow there that's associated with it. And so again, if there's something that you're trying to show up to, whether it's a relationship, purpose, career, whatever, and it feels very forced or manipulative in any way, then that's going to be asking for you to reevaluate and figure out where you can do some releasing. Because again, there needs to be some kind of flow. Like we need to put in effort, but we need to put in effort that is in alignment with the universal flow, okay? Because again, we cannot screw up what is meant for us. It will find us. Okay, so that I really see that energy really strongly that first week. So I feel like you're going to have some opportunities to kind of see where within your life you are trying to control, trying to force, trying to manipulate the energy or the situation in your favor. And what's funny about that, it's like you're really trying to bring something into your environment that is not meant for you. So it's like, but what is meant for you that's trying to come in can't come in, or you can't recognize it. It's not going to not come in, it's going to come in, but you can't recognize it because you're too focused on what it is that you're trying to control and force to come in. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the good stuff, the stuff that's meant for you, that's here, that's trying to come in, you're overlooking and putting your attention on those things that you want to control and force in, but that aren't good for you, that aren't right for you, that are toxic. And so anyway, I see that really strongly this first week. So just pay attention. You'll know, because you'll feel that resistance. You'll feel that it'll drain your energy in some way. It'll feel toxic in some way. Those are the things you need to release or shift that energy so you're no longer forcing. Then we step into the second week of July, and this is beautiful energy. This is you sitting in your power. This could be a maternal figure coming into your life, some kind of a mentor, somebody who's very nurturing, supportive, who supports your creative ideas, your creative ventures. Somebody who's very, very nurturing, but who is like not just like nurturing in like an emotional way, but like supportive of your endeavors. Okay. And sometimes we just really need that. We need a cheerleader. It just takes one cheerleader to like help to motivate us and get us moving in the direction that feels good for us, even when we think we can't do it. Right. And so again, no forcing it, but it's like sometimes we have those mindsets of like, I can't possibly do this, or I'm not worthy, or whatever the case may be. And we trip ourselves up in that sense. And so I feel like there's somebody coming in for you at this time who's like a really good cheerleader for you, somebody who's going to really be supportive or help you find the resources or help you to tap into that inner creative side of yourself or that inner strength that you need to be able to take the steps in this direction. So beautiful energy. This could also be your energy where you're doing that for another person, right? Like you're showing up in a way that's very nurturing and helping and supportive, where you're not doing the work for them, but that you're helping them to see their own strengths and their own empowerment. So really beautiful energy there. This could also be a creative pursuit for some of you, where it's like you have this grand vision, you know what you want, it feels really good, it feels like you're in the flow, and things start falling into place sort of synchronistically. Again, it's kind of like that energy we talked about in the intro, where it's like when we're not forcing things and we're in that, we're trusting the magic, as Raven says, and we're in that universal flow, things seem to just kind of happen. They seem to fall into your lap almost like magic, like I said. And so it's like, I feel like that could be happening at this time for you, where there's a lot of magic in the air. And if you're in the flow, and that you're the only one that can get yourself there. So if you're in the flow, I feel like things are going to start falling into place for you in a way where you can see the road ahead and it's all green lights. So beautiful energy that second week. Third week, we kind of step back into this energy of getting kind of like caught up in what's not working, sort of maybe those things that you see as failures. And again, that can be around relationships or work or whatever, that aren't really failures. And that's what is really important to remember. It's like those things that fall away are meant to fall away because they're not for us any longer, right? They're not assisting in the journey any longer. They're not a beneficial resource any longer. And so they need to fall away. And sometimes we can get in that frame of mind like, oh, if this doesn't work out or this falls away, it's because I failed or I did something wrong or whatever the case may be. But sometimes it's like, no, like these things need to fall away so that you can focus your energy on the things that are meant for you at this particular point in your journey. So I feel like there could be some things sort of being released at this time or fall away at this time. And I think it's just really important to not shame yourself for it, not put so much emphasis on what you did wrong so that it didn't work, that sort of thing, but rather shift the focus into the understanding that sometimes, or I would even argue to say all times, when things don't work out, unless it's something like that we broke it through our actions, right? Like we did something in a way that was intentional to break a situation, right? Like if that's the case, then yeah, you might want to revisit it and, take accountability for it and see if you can mend that relationship or whatever the case may be. But if it's something that like, it's not for you, like it's just, again, it drains your energy. It feels toxic, or the universe took it from you type thing, like because it wasn't for you, then again, we need to kind of shift our energy and realize those things that fall away in that sense and that matter are meant to fall away, and we're not meant to force them to stay, if that makes sense. And so I feel like you're just going to, again, have an opportunity at this time to where something may fall away at this time, or you're going to revisit something that fell away in the past, and you can either see that as a failure, as a personal, insult, or you can see it as like the universe conspiring to assist you into stepping into the next level, right? To stepping up and into what is meant for you and being able to embrace that energy. Okay. So I feel like this could be a little challenging, but I feel like it's going to be more challenging if you get in your own way, right? Like it's like if something is trying to be released and you're forcing it to stay, that creates a tension that is unnecessary. So it's like, If it feels like it needs to be released, then release it or find a way to release it and work through those emotions that come up for you around that releasing, but don't force it to stay, if that makes sense. 4th week, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy coming in for you all. I kind of see it like the 3rd week, you're being asked to release something that's creating space for this new thing to come in. And it's like, if you're able to do that, again, this new thing is going to come in, right? It's going to be there. The energy is going to be there. But if you're too focused on forcing that thing to stay that needs to be released, then you're not going to be energetically in the space to receive whatever it is that's coming in for you, right? It's not going to be in your awareness because you're too focused on that thing that you want to keep, even though it's not for you, if that makes sense. So that 4th week, I really see this beautiful potential coming in for you, this great opportunity with the potential to be something very like long lasting and very, just very, very successful energy, and even like opportunity for a lot of recognition, a lot of accolades, a lot of support from your community, from the people around you. Beautiful, beautiful energy. It's like you're stepping out of something that was really kind of weighing you down and really toxic and stepping into something that's lifting you up, right? So that's the 2 polarities here that we're dealing with that 3rd and 4th week. It's like that 3rd week, there's something that's been like almost like a ton of bricks weighing you down, and it's trying to be released. And instead of forcing it to stay, release it, because what's coming in is an energy that's going to lift you up, that's going to elevate you, so that you can, not only can you see the bigger picture and where you're headed, but you're using your talents, you're using your, you're in your higher expression, you're in that higher octave, because that whatever that was weighing you down is no longer there to weigh you down. You see what I'm saying? So that's where I say the universe conspires to really work with you, not against you. And so that's why that white raven message was so beautiful, because trust in the magic, trust in the universe, trust in your spirit guides, trust in yourself to be able to know when something needs to be released and to not fight that, and when to allow something to be received, right? So to be open to the receiving of all the good stuff that wants to come in, because I definitely see some beautiful, beautiful opportunities coming in for you. And this feels very material. So not like, sometimes it's a feeling that comes in that just lifts us up, right? This 4th week, I'm really seeing this being very physical. So it could be relationship, money, resources, something in the material plane coming in for you that really elevates you, that really allows you to step into all your glory. And so, but first you have to release whatever that toxicity is, or whatever those bricks were that were really weighing you down, okay? So really actually powerful, beautiful energy coming in for you all in July. Again, it's how we work with the energy and how we're open to receiving it, and how we work with the universe as opposed to against the universe. So trust the magic this month, 6s, and just know that the universe is working in your favor at all times, but you're at the helm of this ship. And so it's what you choose to do with that energy that makes all the difference. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for your support and for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.